Good morning, sir, friends. This is Mitty Man coming at you again. Walker Studio, Studio B. We want to say that we give God all the praise and honor and give Him all the glory and thank Him for each and every one of you. Sorry, friends, you know who you are. I am mostly doing this video tonight to see. I'm testing out some things. My sound, I believe I got a sound card issue. I was able to listen at and see. Normally I don't listen back at my videos and everything. I think they'll be all right, but sometime occasionally I will listen back at them if someone tell me they heard some sort of discrepancy in my videos, and so I did hear some stuff in a couple of them, and the sound went awry. I don't know what went on. Other than it probably time for me to change to get a new sound card. I got a USB sound card here with this desktop, and I done had a lot of issues with this stuff, and like I said, I had to completely reformat not too long ago and everything, and I lost a lot of my compositions and music that I had started writing on. But nevertheless, that's fine. That's fine. We can always redo it. Everything. It's hard to sometimes start over, but everything. And no one never liked to do it, but hey, sometimes it happens. But I was just sitting here and today, and I wasn't feeling too well, and some things that came across my mind and everything. I started thinking back, and I thought about something that like I said, I was raised my mostly by my great grandma and my grandma, and my mom was in New York City in the early days of my life and everything. And up until she was stayed around. Like I say, people, they were back in the early '60s, and y'all that was back in them those days, that was nothing. It was not too much opportunities in the South for young blacks. Were really and truly for blacks. Period. Hardly. It was some trying times at those times. Those of you that can remember back in those days, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And a lot of the young blacks, like my mom, they had to go away to find work, in other words, and everything. And so, we give them the utmost honor for being able to. And I'm quite sure that was some of the hardest thing for them to do, to leave home at such early ages, and especially like I say, at that particular point in time, to trying to find work in order to take care of the kids. And so we give a big shout out to mothers that didn't throw away their kids. We give a big shout out to those. And so therefore they had to leave us behind to be raised by our grandparents and great grandparents. And so, but nevertheless, we were taken care of. And I just thought about that, and something my great grandma had told me. And this is what I try to live by to this very day, some 57 years later. I mean, really. Cause like I said, I was born in 1961, and it's something that she always told me is that ever since I was big enough to know what my name was and everything, and understand certain things. She always told me never to be a cheap copy of anybody. Always be original if you can. Don't try to copy cat after somebody else. Don't do that. That's what they called it back in the day in school. You tell a person try to always copy what you do. Be original. It's all right to borrow some ideas sometime, I guess, from other people, because we do it in music all the time. We borrow ideas, but you can't just go there. And, in other words, I can't just go and take somebody else's melody. I can use chords, but I cannot go and take somebody else's melody, especially they got it copyrighted, because they are protected. You cannot use somebody else's melody. You are in copyright violation. But at any rate, but I don't think that you would have to even copyright something from Mitty Man, because I'm gonna tell you something about me. Junior Walker here. Just Junior Walker, this Mitty Man, Ernest J. Walker, E.J. Walker, whatever you want to call me. Um, I've always tried to do things to my best ability on my own. There's nothing that you got that I want to take from you. Nothing at all. And matter of fact, it offends me if anyone would ever accuse me of trying to take something that didn't belong to me. I'm not that type of person. In fact, I feel that I'm qualified enough to, if I need a melody, I can get on this keyboard back here and I can come up with me a melody. It may not be it may not be Herbie Hancock style, or it may not be Quincy Jones style, but guess what? It doesn't have to be that. I'm not trying to be them. I can only be Mitty Man, Junior Walker. That's the only thing I can be. But at any rate, when I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about what my great grandmama had said, always don't be a cheap copy of nobody, but try your best to be original as you can be with your own ideas and your own aspirations. In other words, strive for the best. And this is what I've often taught. In other words, like I told everybody, I don't have biological kids myself, but I have step kids, and I have step grands, and whatnot. But nevertheless, love them no less. In other words, cause like and got great grands. And matter of fact, y'all have heard me talk about old Ren and old TJ. But we got two more, and one named Katie. I think that's her proper name, Katie, and it might be Kayla. I'm not, but I believe it's Kayla. And the one that I don't even really know the name yet, but I haven't seen her yet. So it's four great grands, if I'm not mistaken. So, but beside the point, let me get on. I don't want to get sidetracked. Don't be a cheap copy. And I told, like I said, when me and Bonnie were raising up them grandkids and help raising them, and like I said, the one that I used to have back here with me all the time. And y'all remember Niecy and Fat Cat. And y'all should remember Fat Cat, because I had Fat Cat doing some singing for me at one time. And the girl could sing. And I had all of them. Matter of fact, I was teaching all of them how to play keyboards at one time. And they were getting good. But nevertheless, they had to stop. They had to stop and everything. And schoolwork and everything got in the way. And I had to stop teaching them at that time. But at any rate, people, I got to thinking about what my great grandmom said, and I ran across something that I want to share. I mean, I like to try to share with y'all the real deal things. I don't want to just get on here to be doing something. I don't know. I'm never going to do that. But I ran across an old book here that from my church. And y'all missionary about this was a junior choir song book back in the day. This book here was copyrighted in 1958. 1958, about the singing caravans. And I'm quite sure those of you that are old enough to know what I'm talking about, you know something about this here particular song book. This was a junior choir song book at Antioch. I don't know whether you can see where it was written on there. It was written up there at the top. Antioch Baptist Church Junior Choir. Matter of fact, I used this book when I was in the junior choir, and it was some that used it before me. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, one of my group members in the Junior Walker in the Gospel Tritone, Sister Mary Porter, I'm quite sure Mary used this book as well, because I know I got it right after. It was in the late 60s. And I remember this book, and we did some songs out. And this is the Singing Caravan. And those of you that may not know, the Singing Caravan leader and organizer was my dear sister that's no longer with us now. She's in heaven now, hopefully, or with the Lord in spirit. Sister Albertina Walker. I don't think was in relation to me, and I don't think so. Could be. I don't know. But her name was Sister Albertina Walker, and she was the founder of this group of the Caravan, the Singing Caravan. Matter of fact, they are pianists. Their featured pianist in as of this book was none other than the James Cleveland, and featured soloists, and they was also songwriters. They were very good. Dorothy Norwood, Rosetta Thorpe, Cassetta George, just Inez Andrews. They was all a part of this here particular group. And when I ran across the book, I thought about a whole. I mean, that brought back so many memories. I mean, so many memories. It brought back when we used to be. In other words, choir rehearsal used to be every Wednesday at 4:30. Not just one Wednesday. It used to be just about every Wednesday at 4:30 at my church. We would have junior choir rehearsal at that particular time. Matter of fact, my sister, dear sister, she no longer with us. That's my sister Anna Joyner, sister Lily Bell Garrett. Lily Bell was the junior choir director for a lot of years, as well as one of my other group members right now, Sister Shirley Fillingham, also dealt with the junior choir, and she was the director of the junior choir for a lot of years, as well as our sister that's no longer with us, Sister Judy Allen. She got the junior choir after I turned them loose, after I left and went off to college. I reorganized the junior choir back in 1979. Deacon Freddie Gifford, which was our church chairman at that time, came to me one particular second Sunday, asked me would I get the junior choir. Junior choir had got dormant and wasn't doing anything, and he asked me would I pick them up and get them back started. So I did. With the help of the parents like Sister Joyner, with her two girls, Natalie and Kim, Sister Beverly Tugger, what I call Tugger, Sister Beverly Burke, her daughter Bianca, with them and the Jones, Stephanie Jones, some of them, and the Tarvers, Miss Cully Bell Tarver and all of her kids and everything. I started all of them back and got them back together as the junior choir unit. And this is where me and Brother Floyd Carter, we connected, because he was the church pianist at that time. Floyd became church pianist, I believe, in 1977. Because it was like 2 years later, I became the director of the junior choir. I reorganized them, got them back on their feet, and I kept them up until I went off to college myself, which was in 1982. And therefore, I turned it over to I had to turn it over, and Sister Judy Allen, God rest her in peace, that was Sister Kathy Thorne's mama. And she took over the junior choir after I went on off to college. But nevertheless, people, these books bring back so many memories. And I got another one. It's called The Gospel Pearls. I don't know if some of you know what I'm talking about when I name them books. Those are some old books. They go way back. Like I said, this book here was copyrighted in 1958. And the Caravan, Albertina Walker formed them in 1953. So that's going to show you how old these books are. And I keep them. And I read the music, and I look at some of the songs. And like I said, it's written SATB, most of it. Some of it even got some keyboard arrangement. Some of it even written for keyboard arrangement, but most of it is SATB. And I try to tell people, the people that can be taught something, I try to always give out a few nuggets about teaching. See, SATB that was made to be sung, not really played. It was parts, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Now, you got some keyboard players that can get there and play certain parts of that. Because I can play certain parts of it. See, like I said, I'm not no great, I never was a great sight reader, because when I was learning to play the keyboard and piano, I did too much looking at my hands. And instead of looking at the music, I looked at my hands too much, and it handicapped me from being a very, very good sight reader. But now I can read the music. That ain't no problem. I can tell you everything on this page. The key signatures and the notes and everything. But I'm just trying to let everybody know that these books were written in that particular style. They were mostly SATB, but most of the time in a song book like this, it'll give you a keyboard arrangement. And it was very good. And matter of fact, over the years I have sat down and I tried to play a little bit of it, and I can, like I say, I can. I'm not afraid of the music. You give me a little time with it. I'll deal with it. But we just saying that don't be a cheap copy of nobody, people. Don't do that. And I try to teach. I mean, what I'm trying to teach, and if the Lord say so, and as this my group comes up, I'm not gonna teach them to try to be like nobody else, but we want to be the best that we can be. We ain't trying to show off. We are not trying to be better than other groups or choirs. No. We're not gonna get in that. But we are not gonna be below anyone either. Not if we can help it. But we're gonna make certain that we do the very best job that we can do. And if all that lies within me, I'm gonna teach them everything that I know, that I got. And I have had a lot of good instructors in the past, and I got some good fellas that I deal with. Like I told you, like my buddies and everything. The one that started me out in this here gospel music field, which was Brother Terry Blackman, James Blackman. For some of you don't know him by Terry, Brother Floyd Carter and Daryl Johnson. Those guys always. I learned most of everything that I know from those guys. That is for music in the gospel and playing by ear in the church from those guys. And so, like I say, and then I went on and furthered myself when I went on into college and everything, and I studied and majored in music. And so I got the best of both worlds. So, but I don't try to brag on that as if to put me above anybody, but I don't put myself below anybody either. So you see, this is the thing where we get things, I think, misconstrued sometimes, when we get to thinking that we are somebody. And the Bible said, when a person think they are something, when they are nothing, they deceive themselves. So now I'm not trying to say that I'm nothing. I'm not trying to say that you are nothing. But what we need to do is we need to do everything as unto the Lord. Stop worrying about what somebody else doing. And you see, we do too much comparing. In other words, as soon as we see one person do something, here we go, we want to try to do it too. But see, you can't do everything you see other people do. And matter of fact, it's not going to be anointed. People can tell a cheap copy, people. I mean, people can tell a cheap copy. I mean, I listen to music, all types. I listen to all types of music. I tell people, there ain't but two kinds of music to me. That's good and bad. But I listen to all types of music. But my favorite, if I just had to tell you my favorite genre of music from back in the day, even up until this present time, it would be funk. I told everybody, I don't apologize for that. I love funk music. I grew up on it. I love funk music. Now, of course, I love gospel music. That's beside the question. You ain't even got to ask that. I love gospel music. But what I'm saying is, as far as myself and raising, coming up, I love funk music. I listen to funk music all the time. Most of the time I play on Spotify. All you got to do is go in there and check it out on Facebook. And look at all the songs most I listen to. If you see all those songs that I listen to, and they are repetitively, I listen to most of all my songs be the same songs all the time. And they all fall up under the category of mostly. Every one of them is funk. I love funk music. Always. I always have. And I always will. So, I tell people, I'm telling all you, the ones that call themselves, that automatically what kind of music God like. Well, I'm just telling you like this here. If you feel bad about admitting, man, for loving funk music, well, I'm just sorry. You just gonna feel bad admitting, man, because I love funk music. That's the point. And I like R&B, and I like some hip hop. I mean, I'm not against. I told you I like music, period, because to me there are only two kinds. That's good and bad. But I am favorite with funk. I love funk. In other words, James Brown called it, hit it on the one. Those of you that know what I'm talking about in music, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And matter of fact, James Brown was a sort of like the king. He was the pioneer of funk music, in other words. And matter of fact, all the other that came, the hip hop nation and all the other stuff in the rap, all that came behind. James Brown was really the inspiration for all that particular music. He was the father, the godfather. That's why they called him the godfather of soul. They called him that. But at any rate, people, let me tell you something. I don't sit here and try to judge anybody for what kind of music they like to listen to. It's more music than just the gospel pearls here or the caravan. They're more music. You know what I'm saying? And it is your heart posture. I always tell people, it's your heart that makes the difference. In other words, you got a lot of people that singing gospel music don't bit more love of God, have the love for God in their heart as this camera I'm looking into, and it doesn't have a heart. Just because you singing gospel music, that has no bearing on what your status is with your relationship with the Lord. Just as well as don't you judge nobody that loves secular music just because an artist is singing blues and funk and R&B and country. That doesn't make them a sinner just because they singing that type of music. No more than singing gospel make you a Christian. Because we got a lot of people that singing gospel music that may not per se be as close to God as you think they are. I mean, I'm just being for real, people. I'm being for real. You know, we all got to stand for our own selves. And like my great grandma used to tell me, say you got your own hoe to roll out. You got a row and you got to hoe it out yourself. Those of you that are working in the field, you know what a row is, and you know how to hoe it out with your garden hoe. You got your own row to hoe out. In other words, she always said that you just make sure you keep your row straight and deal with that. And don't worry about the other fellas. My grandma used to tell me that too. Don't worry about the other fellas. She always used to tell us kids that. I never will forget it. And I got friends and I got some classmates and playmates right now that no longer in the area. They live in different parts of the country. Right now I got one of my buddies, one of my childhood buddies. And we always call him Peacher. And me and him, we affectionately call each other Big Cuz. And they Big Cuz is living now. They're living in Newark, New Jersey, and been up there now for quite a few years and everything. But we don't ever forget where we come from. We don't ever forget where we come from, and we know how we were raised. And like I say, it's the heart that matters. And in other words, you can be singing gospel music, but your heart is far from God. You can never tell. But in other words, remember Jesus said, "You know the tree by the fruit." But if we were to stop trying to copy and trying to outdo other people, don't try to outdo nobody. That is the worst thing you could do. You just be the best you that you can be. And that's all you got. You ain't got to be in competition with nobody. That way you can sleep good at night and you can rest well. With that being said, I just wanted to make sure that I share this here with everybody to let you know I still hold one of the original Caravan singing gospel books right here in my hand from years ago when I was in the junior choir myself. And I know that, like I said, Sister Mary, one of my choir members, I'm quite sure she was out of this book as well. And I'm not mistaken, I'm probably, Lily Bell and Shirley probably used this book when they had the junior choir as well. But that's going on to show you that where your heritage. Don't forget where you come from. If we don't forget where we come from, then hopefully we will get to the next level. We can go to the next level. I heard Quincy Jones say something. He was addressing the hip hop nation. I'll call it that because those guys are really into hip hop, like Dr. Dre and Chuck D, the Public Enemy, all those cats. He was telling them, and I never will forget what Quincy told them. Quincy said, y'all, he got very emotional when he was talking about it. He said, because I don't want to see y'all guys getting shot down. I want to at least see y'all live to at least be my age. That was Quincy was sincere about that. But he was talking about we need to be political. In other words, we need to stop judging each other. We need to stop that. Stop judging one another. Stop trying to outdo, and let's join forces. Be the best we. In other words, I can be Medi Man better than I know anybody. I can be me better than I know anybody. I can't be you. I ain't trying to be. I can't be Quincy. I can take and pattern myself down some work ethics of Quincy. True. Yes, I can. And try to be excellent at what I do. But you know what? This man got a legacy. 1.5 miles long. You got a whole lot to do to try to follow in the footsteps of a person like that. But guess what? It's not impossible for you to do what you can do. You may can't do what he has done, but you contribute that what you can contribute to. This is what I'm saying. Stop being a cheap copy, like my great grandmama said. Don't be a cheap copy of somebody else. Be yourself, and you'll be all right. This is Medi Man saying, whatever you get into a garden in it. Please, ma'am, please, sir, come on out of it. God gonna come to nothing. And like I said, people, be yourself. You can be that better than anybody. Peace and good morning.